When you spoke with Jerry yesterday, did he mention where he was going?
I didn't want to know. All I asked is that Jerry stay away for good this time.
Did he give you any indication that someone was after him?
Why? What's happened?
He didn't check out of the hotel, and the maid went up there and the room was empty.
Well, you know your brother is never much for saying goodbye.
The window in Jerry's room was also broken, as if somebody used it to make a quick escape.
Hope you're hungry. I have all of your favorites in here. Let's see. French toast, scrambled eggs, bacon, extra crispy, and those potatoes that you love so much.
How did you get all of that in here?
I have my ways.
Okay, it's probably not a good idea to start seducing cops right at this point.
I also offered him dinner for free at the Metro Court, okay? Coffee and orange juice. Whatever you'd like.
Let's face it, Carla, you didn't come here to serve me breakfast. What is it you really want?
I need to know. Did you and Sonny have Jerry killed last night?
You're up awfully early. What's the matter? Couldn't you sleep?
I don't want to put my family through one more day of this hearing.
Well, you know, if you want this done, side over guardianship of Laura.
Mr. Baldwin, you and I both know that this doesn't have anything to do with what's best for my mother. You just want revenge against Luke. Well, guess what? You certainly got it the moment Lulu walked in here and heard that Luke raped our mother. Congratulations, their relationship may never recover. So why don't you just drop this petition for guardianship and walk away?
I'm not going anywhere until Luke is out of Laura's life for good.
Okay, listen, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to end this. So name your price.
You keep your money. We both know I've already won.
You might want to skip the caffeine today.
Oh, good point. Where's the scotch? I need something to get me through this fiasco.
You know what? Alexis mounted a really good defense, and I'm sure it's more than enough to reinstate Nicholas as Laura's guardian. Drink that.
Baldwin's argument is that Nicholas contributed to her condition by allowing me unlimited access.
Scott Baldwin is a vindictive snake who set out to hurt you in the worst possible way by telling Lulu about the rape. But Lulu...
Oh, free?
Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Lulu is a very smart cookie, and she knows exactly who Scott is, and she's not about to give him the satisfaction of turning on you.
What time is the hearing supposed to start?
Well, I didn't know you were planning on going.
I want to be there for my mom.
One of Jerry's former business associates could have recognized him from a picture in the paper. Breaking that window may have been his only way out.
And that may be just what your brother wants you to believe.
What are you saying? Jerry set this up?
Well, I'm sorry to say that I would not be at all surprised. After the mess he's made here, he had to find some way to disappear.
Doesn't make sense. Why would he break the window?
By leaving you a mystery to solve, he's laid the groundwork for you to come after him the next time he calls.
I can't turn my back on him, Mom, if that's what you're asking.
Jax, if you don't put your foot down now, your brother's gonna ruin your life along with his own.
Jerry's made a lot of dangerous enemies. Some right here in Port Charles. What if going out of that window wasn't his way to escape? What if he needs help?
Look, I love your brother just as much as you do. But you cannot save Jerry from himself. You have your own life to live. You have a beautiful wife, 2 wonderful stepchildren, and don't let Jerry destroy the happiness that you have made for yourself.
Well, there's a little Jack's family. Mine is one, it seems. Have you seen I'm sorry. Have you seen Jerry? I have a few follow-up questions I need to ask him.
He's gone.
He's gone?
That's right.
Gone where?
Don't know.
I take it his leaving was not voluntary, huh? That begs the question, who would want to hurt your carefree, fun-loving brother unless they had reason to believe that he was James Craig?
Jax is my husband. I have to find out what happened to Jerry.
What makes you think he's dead?
Well, the window in his hotel room was smashed out and no one's seen him since.
Sounds like someone finally caught up to him. I'd like to say it was me, but it wasn't. And as far as I know, it wasn't Sonny either.
I had to ask.
Fine.
Now that I know, I need to focus on getting you out of here.
Hey, when you see me later at the hospital, I will be in a much better mood, I promise.
So,
Excuse me? Whoa. What?
You're in a bad mood. You say it's not because of me, but you can't get away from me fast enough. You're gonna be in a better mood when you see me later. So the obvious question is, if not me, who's gonna make you feel better?
He's not.
He?
I actually did think about going to see him, but there would be no point because there's absolutely nothing I could do for him, so it would just be awkward. Actually, it would be more than awkward if Carly's there because under these circumstances of trying to keep a truth in her.
The other guy is Jax?
Jax?
Well, you said Jax is Carly's husband, or... Okay, obviously I'm not hearing you correctly.
No, I'm sorry. I was talking about Jason. Last night, he was arrested for Lorenzo Alcazar's murder, which I'm sure he did commit. It just makes me sad because whether or not he's convicted or he goes back to eliminating people under Sonny's orders, it's just a waste of all he could have been, and it's partly my fault.
Look, the judge is ruling today on who gets to be Laura's guardian.
Should all be there today to support Lulu.
Okay, Lulu requested some space. That's why I wanted to alert you to her wishes so you would stay away. Ow.
Lulu needs her friends more than ever.
Okay, message received. No need to thrash the hardware, okay?
Then put it away, quit.
No, I happen to be working on something of the utmost importance.
More important than Lulu?
Dude, look, I want to help the blonde one too, but we can't just waltz into the courthouse without consulting her first.
Okay, I have an idea. Maybe I could go to the Quartermains and talk to Lulu for you.
A judge is about to make a decision about my mom that will affect her entire life. I think I have a right to be there. Besides, there isn't anything else that can come out about you in court, is there?
No, and Scott's petition had everything to do with exposing an incident that has long since been healed and nothing to do with your mother's well-being.
I know that, and so does the judge. That's why I'm going to court today. I want to be there when Scott loses my mom for good.
You know, it's possible you may not get the outcome you're hoping for.
I have every reason to believe the judge will rule in my favor today.
Then why are you trying to bribe me to disappear?
Because unlike you, I happen to care about the people my mother loves, and they've been hurt enough then.
Yeah, well, so has Laura. And I'm surprised that you want Luke anywhere near her after everything he's done.
Laura forgave Luke a long time ago.
Yeah, well, have you? Luke treated you like dirt when he found out that you were her son. He tried to cut you out of her life. And then when you were appointed guardian, he did a 180. You know why? I'll tell you. Because he wanted access to Laura.
I can assure you that's not why Luke wants me to remain Laura's guardian.
He's using you. He's using you just like he used your mother.
Laura loves Luke.
Yeah, but she didn't trust him. That's why she appointed you guardian. She didn't want some drunk making decisions for her.
Scott, enough, all right? Just pipe down and wait for the judge's rulings. With any luck, you won't have any further input in Laura's affairs.
Look, I'm not trying to take Laura away from Nicholas or her family. I'm just trying to protect her from Luke.
Your own department's DNA test already proved that Jerry and James Craig aren't the same person.
Yeah, lucky for your brother. The rest of the blood sample disappeared before we could perform another test to verify that result.
Well, it wouldn't have made any difference. Jerry was exonerated.
Then why did he disappear?
Jerry has had a habit of disappearing without so much as a goodbye for most of his adult life.
You don't seem all that concerned about it.
You have
a daughter, don't you, Mr. Lansing?
Yes, I do.
Well, now, you can spend the rest of your life worrying about her, but it's not going to stop her from growing up and going her own way. That is what children do.
I'm afraid my mom's right. Jerry's latest disappearing act is it's just business as usual.
Well, then I guess you'll have no problem with the forensics team sweeping your brother's room.
Okay, since Rick has already come up with a way to convince the judge to deny you bail, we're gonna have to come up with something ourselves. I was thinking we could start with the mayor. He's gotta have skeletons in his closet. We could find something incriminating and get him to drop the charges.
Forget it. No,
You know what?
don't help me at all.
We can have the arrest thrown out. I can convince Lucky to say that he made a mistake.
I want you to forget about the whole thing.
What are you talking about? It's perfect. Elizabeth and Jake were in the coffee house while you were arrested. Lucky made a mistake. He was distracted.
I want you to leave Lucky out of
Don't
this.
you think he owes you? I do. You've saved Elizabeth how many times? Hell, if it weren't for you, she would have never made it to the
I said
hospital.
no. No.
Let me tell you something. You're not being charged with some misdemeanor. You're being charged with murder. If there was ever a time to cash in a favor, it would be now. Why are you having such a problem with this?
You never talk about Jason.
We're not close anymore.
Well, correction, you avoid talking about Jason. You talk about Stone so much sometimes it makes me jealous.
Well, you know, there's a lot of people that I'm not that close to anymore. When Jax and Brenda were married, I used to spend a lot of time with them.
You're doing it again.
What?
Avoiding talking about Jason. I mean, he's like this mystery in the middle of your life. And I don't want to push this on you if it's uncomfortable, but I mean, I know why you guys broke up because of Carly and her son, Michael. It was so painful for you that you took off to Europe for 6 years. But Jason's the reason why you came back. Jason's the reason why you and I met. You couldn't stand me at first sight, but you begged me to do his operation. I mean, that's how much you wanted to save Jason's life.
And you want to know why?
Well, you have a lot of defenses. You assume that love won't last.
I'm working on that. I think I'm becoming positively optimistic.
I understand that, but I mean, at first I thought it was about Stone. Or because you have HIV. Or even your parents coming back from the dead.
Oh, well, great. I'm happy to know you think I'm an emotional basket case.
Robin, you're a strong, resilient, amazing person. But very protective of her heart. I mean, you still don't trust me even now. And I'm starting to assume maybe that's because of Jason.
Maybe it is. Jason and I loved and trusted each other completely, and we broke each other's hearts.
Look at you.
Hey, how's Cam?
Asleep. Medication really knocked him out.
Well, maybe we should keep him away from Jake for a few days, you know, just in case.
Will you tell your daddy to stop worrying that it's just a cold?
I can't help it.
Try not to be nervous, okay? Your mother made her wishes clear when she committed herself to Shady Brook. And I know the judge will uphold Nicholas' position as her guardian.
I hope so, but after what happened in court, I'm not so sure.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
The only thing that Scott proved is that he's a selfish person, incapable of putting anybody above himself. There's no doubt in my mind that Nicholas is going to be reinstated.
Where is Nicholas?
He's at the courthouse. Alexis wanted to go over a few papers with him before the hearing started. You can take Jake if you want to go upstairs and get changed. You know, I can't go. Cameron's come down with a fever. Graham got called into work. There's nobody to babysit. I'm really sorry. I wish I could be there for you.
No. Cam needs you more. Besides, if everything goes the way it should, we'll be home soon to celebrate.
Okay.
Right?
Who knows what kind of favors Baldwin's called in on this? The whole thing could be rigged.
You think that Scott paid off the judge?
Sweetheart, whether he did or not, it doesn't matter. If he says one more thing to upset you, your entire family is going to rush to your defense, and that's not going to look good to the judge. It's going to make Scott look even more sympathetic. I wish you'd reconsider coming to court.
I don't know what I want anymore.
Do you have a minute?
Oh, now is really not a good time.
I know that there's a lot going on right now with your mom and the hearing, and that's why I'm here. I thought you could use a friend.
Look, I know you're worried about me, and I appreciate it, but you can't pull some crazy stunt to get me out of this, Carly. It's only gonna make things worse.
How much worse can things get? You've been denied bail, which means Rick has some
Well, that
pretty
means I'm
strong
gonna be
evidence.
locked up until my trial.
And I'm supposed to do nothing about
Well,
that.
you can't get me out of this by blackmailing Rick or blackmailing the mayor.
I won't have to if we can get Lucky on board.
I don't want Lucky lying for me. It's not fair.
It's not fair to who? Lucky or Elizabeth? Wow. I can't believe I'm thinking about her.
Oh, isn't this cozy?
I am allowed to be here. You can't do anything about it, Rick.
Oh, cool your jets, Carly. I'm actually glad that you're here. Saves me a trip. I have a few questions to ask you.
I told you everything I know about Jerry.
This is about Lorenzo Alcazar and the argument you had with him shortly before his death.
Hey, in about 20 minutes, the judge is making a ruling on Laura's guardianship, so talk fast.
It's Jerry. He's gone.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's nice to know that someone cares if my brother lives or dies.
Oh. What happened?
My guess is that one of his business associates finally caught up with him, and he crashed through the hotel room window to escape. Mom thinks it's all a big setup, but regardless, Jerry's missing.
I'm not sure that I can help you with this, Jax.
No, it's not that. It's just that Rick is sending over a forensics team to investigate, and I want you to stop them from going into that room.
I can't believe Georgie went over to make sure Lulu was all right.
I'm sure your sister was just trying to help.
Yeah, but why would she? Lulu deliberately stole Georgie's boyfriend.
You just don't like Lulu.
True, but that's not the point. Georgie is sweet and innocent, not to mention a hopeless romantic. I feel bad for her. It sucks when you put your heart out there for someone and you don't get anything back.
Why didn't I stop Georgie from going over there? I mean, the last thing Lulu needs right now is a fight.
No, dude. If you want to protect the blonde one from distress, banish the knuckle scraper and his unwanted advances.
What unwanted advances?
The unworthy one drove his fist into my face and forced an unwelcome and disgusting kiss on Lulu's beautiful lips.
Logan kissed Lulu?
Yeah, dude. Blonde one totally freaked. I mean, had I not been lying on the ground trying to regain my sight, I would have...
Would you ever lay a hand on Lulu again?
Spinelli and Milo are really worried about you and they want to support you. They just thought it would be a little overwhelming for the both of them to show up at the courthouse for the hearing. And so I was recruited to come find out if you're okay and if there's anything, Okay, don't help. Please don't be nice to me. I don't deserve it, not after the crap I pulled last summer. It was very messed up and I'm still very sorry.
Lulu, it's not completely your fault. Dylan did make a decision to sleep with you.
Listen, for what it's worth, I really, really do hope that Nicholas gets to stay as your mother's guardian. And you do have friends to help you through this. Including me.
Well, if you're looking for your lawyer, she hightailed it out of here. I guess she didn't want to go down with a sinking ship.
Why don't you stop? The judge has already made his decision, and goading Luke into attacking you isn't going to change his mind.
Well, why would I want another fat lip from him? The judge and I both know that he is a danger to Laura.
I don't know where you got your information, but I didn't have an argument with Lorenzo before he died. I barely spoke to the man.
Is that so? Then what were you doing at his house?
You don't have to tell him anything.
There's nothing to tell. I stopped by Lorenzo's to ask him questions about his business dealings with James Craig.
Was that before or after you realized that Craig was actually Jax's brother?
Didn't this office prove the opposite?
What did Mr. Alcazar tell you about Craig?
Nothing. Lorenzo couldn't get me out of the house fast enough.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but if I had to guess, I would say Lorenzo had a plane to catch. He's probably hiding out somewhere in South America right now while you're trying to railroad Jason.
It's not railroading, Carly, when you actually do the crime.
What crime? There was no body, right?
Oh, I got something better.
Okay, I don't know if I told you, but I had a huge crush on Jason when I was in high school. He was so different before the accident. Straight A student, captain of the soccer team, very charming. I mean, I know it sounds trite, but he really was the golden boy.
Oh, well, I know the side effects of cerebral edema, but it's hard to picture the guy you're describing.
When Stone was diagnosed with AIDS, Jason was there, I mean, outside of Sunny and Brenda, to offer support and friendship. And then Stone died, and not even a month later, AJ drove Jason into a tree. He was comatose for 2 weeks, and I would just sit by his bed, and I thought that he was gonna die too, because, you know, nothing good ever lasts. Clearly, I was at a low point in my life.
Can't say I blame you.
One afternoon, I went to his hospital room just to visit, and I was just sitting there not expecting anything, and Jason woke up. He looked at me with those beautiful blue eyes, and for the first time in a long time, I felt hope. It was clear right away that he had brain damage, suffered memory loss, personality shift. His family closed ranks around him. I mean, they just wanted their son back.
The attending neurologist didn't say that the damage could be permanent?
You know how it is. Families do not want to hear the bad
but
news.
Alan and Monica are doctors.
And doctors make the worst patients, the worst families of patients. Jason was completely alienated. He ran away from the Quartermains and actually lived in an abandoned boxcar for a little while in the woods. And then one night, I met him again on a bridge.
What bridge?
The one past the gorge on Evergreen Point. It's gone now, and the city tore it down because it was a safety hazard.
Stone's ashes.
That's the one. That's where I would go to remember Stone. It was the only place that I didn't have to pretend to be strong. I could be as sad and miserable as I wanted to be. And then one night Jason showed up. You know the amazing part? I still didn't have to pretend to be strong. He didn't need me to be brave, optimistic Robin. He was 2 months out of the hospital with severe head trauma, and he had no expectations. When I was with Jason, I stopped hurting. Sometimes I even laughed.
And you fell in love.
Look, dude, grabbing a girl and kissing her against her will is not a joke, okay? It's assault.
My friend here doesn't get his arm off me. I'm gonna show you assault. Go ahead.
Enough. Get out. Come on, that's enough. Back off. Easy, easy. Good. All right, you guys are... Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on now. Back off. I said easy. Easy. You guys are way overreacting this.
Okay, look, the Jackal saw Logan force himself on Lulu, okay?
Now, Nellie was laying on the floor crying like a little bitch. Daddy saw much of anything.
You don't shut your mouth.
Hey, come on now. Look. Now, Logan may have been acting like a jerk, but Lulu is fine, all right? I talked to her right after it happened. She said she was upset about something else and overreacted. Right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, the blonde one had a lot on her mind, but it doesn't excuse the way the crabby commando manhandled.
Hey, you already took a sheep shot at the kid. That's only one percussive.
Okay, we seriously need to dial down the testosterone in here, so why doesn't everyone go back to their little corners and save it for the next round?
Good idea, honey.
Come on. Well, now that you have everything under control, I gotta go to work.
Okay, well, call me later.
All right, bye-bye.
Oh, so sorry.
Hey, have you talked to the blonde one?
Yeah, wait, what'd she say?
Yes. Lulu really appreciates your concern. But she doesn't need you at the hearing. She said she was going to have plenty of support from her family, but it did mean a lot to her that you guys were looking out for her.
Well, you've done your best, little man. No matter how this turns out, you'll have nothing left to use against me.
Well, you know, as usual, Spencer, you missed the point. I only care about Laura.
No, you only care about revenge. You've been stuck in the past for years.
No, I am in the future, Laura's future, and she may have one with proper care as long as I keep him away from her.
Did you miss the part where the doctor said she's incurable? If you have dragged us through this hell out of the delusion that you can wake her with a kiss, you need a room at Shady Brook right next to Laura.
Yeah, well, I think he knows the truth. He pushed Laura so far inside of herself that it's impossible for her to come back. The damage has to be corrected. The only way to do that is to keep him 50 feet away from her.
All the hearings and court orders in the world won't change the fact that my mom loved my dad, not you.
Well, I'm surprised to see you. I didn't expect you here today.
I don't know why. I'll always stand by my father.
Well, you know what? Your mother did that, and look how she ended up.
If Rick Lansing or anyone else from the PCPD shows up requesting access to my brother's room, the answer is no. Warrant or not, nobody goes into that room, okay?
I'll notify the staff.
Thank you.
Hi.
You left early this morning?
Yes, I went to see Jason.
Did you happen to mention what happened to Jerry?
For the record, I asked Jason if he or Sonny had anything to do with Jerry's disappearance, and he said they did not, which means he's walking around alive and well, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't trust Sonny and Jason as much as you do.
Jason swore to me that he didn't kill Jerry.
He's not going to admit in front of a room full of cops that he killed my brother.
I'm sorry, but he wouldn't lie to me, Jax.
Jason has every reason to want Jerry dead.
So do a lot of people. But Jason is the one person who couldn't have done it because he was in lockup all night. Unlike your brother, who is far worse, by the way, is out there walking around free, thanks to you and me.
I have probable cause. The window of his hotel room was busted out with a chair.
Well, has the Metro Court filed a complaint?
No, of course not. Jax owns the hotel. He's not going to file a complaint against his own brother.
Well, I see no reason to pursue this any further.
Okay, Jerry Jax disappears without a trace, and you want me to turn and look the other way?
This department has no interest in Jerry Jax, and neither do I.
You have interest in James Craig, don't you? Now, Mayor, the voters of this city, the ones responsible for getting you reelected, want to see this man pay for all of the pain he has caused. Now, as I see it, you can kill two birds with one stone here. You can put away a very dangerous criminal, and you can shore up support for your next election.
You tried to prove that James Craig and Jerry Jax are the same person, and you couldn't do it. There is not enough solid evidence to support your theory. So until there is, I suggest that you focus on the dangerous criminal you do have in custody.
You got a visitor. Stone Cold. Look, I just came by to check to see if the Mighty 10 laid down by the old wise dudes was properly being adhered to.
The what?
See, Stone Cold here was guaranteed certain unalienable rights by our founding fathers. You know, number 4 protects against cruel and unusual punishment, so if you or any of your brothers in arms violate that rule, the Jack will rain down terror on you like the Goth God of Zoon.
Look, kid, I don't know what you just said, but you got 15 minutes.
If you're not Stone Cold, I have secured your freedom.
What are you talking about?
Okay, look, I hacked into the law-abiding one system. Okay, so at exactly 10:08 tonight, the fire alarm will go off, at which point your cell door will slide open and you can walk out.
I want you to delete it.
No. What are you talking about? It's really simple.
I don't want you breaking me out of here.
Come on. You can't hate a plan when you haven't even heard the best part.
I actually used to be much closer to Sonny. To say that we bonded over Stone's death would be a complete understatement. He took care of all of Stone's medical bills. I mean, he was the first person in the room with me when Stone died. So maybe that gives you an idea of how I could rationalize the way he made his money.
Did you introduce Jason to Sonny?
I facilitated the friendship. I reinforced the fact that Sonny was someone that Jason could trust. The night that Sonny's first wife died, the night a car bomb went off and killed her, I thought Sonny might do something to himself, so I sent Jason over there.
Sent him?
Absolutely. Jason trusted me so completely that I could literally tell him what to do. I liked that. I got used to being the arbiter of right and wrong in Jason's life. He had this very childlike way of compartmentalizing things. It was like what he did for Sonny was completely separate from anything that I taught him about ethics. So he got this completely schizophrenic moral code where on the one hand, he was the most gentle, honest person you had ever met. And then on the other hand, he's a killer. And it didn't have to be that way. You know, if I had just been a little bit more realistic about Sonny, if I had encouraged Jason to do something else rather than pick up a gun.
I had no idea you carried this much guilt still about it.
I'm not. The Jason in the PCPD lockup is very different from the boy I fell in love with. And if you ask him, he will tell you that he made all of his own decisions right down the line. I just feel like I could have made a difference somewhere, and I didn't. Sorry you asked.
Well, that explains a lot.
What? About why I'm so bossy?
No, about how you became who you are. And how lucky I am that you're with me. Unless, of course, you're still carrying a torch for Jason.
Please.
That wasn't exactly a no.
Listen to me. The only man I'm carrying a torch for is you.
So how was Lulu?
Sad. Sad about her mom.
Don't you dare join her pity party.
Maxie, I am allowed to feel bad for Lulu.
Why? When has she ever felt bad for you? She lied about you, Georgie. She said you were unfaithful when you weren't.
You are not exactly in a position to criticize here, Maxie.
I disagree. Yes, I lied, but when it all blew up in my face, people, except for you and Mac, were ready to spit on me. Lulu tells lies that are just as big, and everyone lines up to help her and makes excuses and sympathizes. It's just wrong.
So why make yourself miserable about it? Life is too short. You know, Lulu is going through enough hurt without you or me holding a grudge.
Hey, now is the perfect time for you to make a move on Lulu. There's this trial going on about the guardianship of her nutjob mother, and if Scott Baldwin wins in court today, poor little Lulu will be devastated. And you will be there to comfort her.
As long as you're all together, I want to talk to you before the hearing is underway. If the decision comes back and it goes against Nicholas, there are to be no angry outbursts. Do you hear me? No histrionics, nothing. You stay calm and you stay cool until the judge leaves the courtroom. And the reason for this is because I will be able to appeal the decision and it may compromise this option if any one of you acts out irresponsibly. Got it? Luke, attacking Scott verbally or otherwise will not get you Laura back.
Okay, why are you talking like we've already lost? Mom appointed Nicholas to be her guardian. He's her son, we're her family. Why would the judge even consider putting Scott in charge?
Because, Lulu, the law very rarely has anything to do with justice.
Lulu's really sensitive about Laura's condition. Whenever the subject comes up, she gets really emotional.
You don't have to spell it out, Maxie, all right? I got it. I'll listen while Lulu pours her heart out about her mother being a vegetable, give her a shoulder to cry on, offer my own special brand of comfort. But before I do all that, I want to be clear on the terms of our little deal.
Don't worry, you inflict your obnoxious self on Lulu and break her little heart like she deserves, and I'll sleep with you.
Has anybody ever told you that you are very, very mean?
Has anyone ever told you you're a double-crossing cheat, making a deal to sleep with your best friend's girl?
Maxie. I am not going to stand here and argue the relative merits of Jerry and Jason's crimes.
Good, because there's no comparison.
How would you know? Have you ever actually been with Jason when he's killed someone? I mean, you got to face it, Carly. Jason can be just as cold and calculated as Jerry.
Jason would never shoot a woman just to watch her bleed. He'd never force a man who was having a heart attack to walk out of a building, but that's exactly what your brother did. Just because.
He just smashed a window to try to save himself, okay? Until I know he's dead or alive, I'd rather not argue about it.
He is trying to push you. He's testing you again. He wants to see if you will come after him. And don't do it. Don't go racing off to rescue him again.
The way you go racing off to rescue Jason.
That is not fair. Jason is my best friend.
Yeah, and Jerry's my brother. If you expect me to turn my back on him, then we've got a real problem.
Okay, after the alarm sounds, you'll have 30 seconds to get out of your cell, down the hall. Okay, the second door on the left will be to the stairs.
I want you to stay out of this.
Wait, no, Stone Cold, look, I'm your wingman.
Then do what I tell you. I have a great lawyer who's trying to get me out of here clean and legal so I can just get back to my life. The best thing you can do to help is nothing.
You know, it's so convenient the way all of your co-conspirators keep showing up at their own accord. It saves me a trip. Mr. Spinelli, listen, questions.
Got nothing to say to you, Rick.
I happen to know that he used to work for Lorenzo Alcazar, right? 7 files, encrypting them. You know, you'd be the perfect person to provide Jason with information and tech support necessary for him to pull off Alcazar's murder. That would make you an accomplice. Which is exactly how I'm going to charge you if you don't tell me everything you know.
you holding up?
Sometimes I can't even look Dad in the eye, and then there are moments like these when I just want to give him a hug and tell him that everything's gonna be okay. But I don't know if it is, or if it ever will be. I mean, I know that Mom loved him. You could see it every time that she looked at him, but I don't think I'll ever understand how she got past what he did to her, or how I will.
It took me some time before I came to terms with it.
How did you?
I got angry. I lashed out, and when I finally calmed down, I asked myself if Mom, if she could forgive Dad for what he did, why shouldn't I?
I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive myself for upsetting Lulu like I did.
Maybe it's all gonna be for the best. Nicholas, I have to believe that the judge is gonna throw out Scott's petition and just leave everything the way it is.
Hey, you okay? Oh, we'll see. Listen, I want to tell you how much I appreciate everything that you've done to protect your mother. No, Nicholas, she made a good choice making you guardian.
Thank you.
All rise. The court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Rogers presiding.
We are here today to discuss the guardianship of Laura Spencer. After weighing the evidence and the assertions that further contact with Luke Spencer would be detrimental to the patient's welfare, and taking into consideration Ms. Spencer's clear desire to have her son, Nicholas, act as her sole guardian, I have come to a decision, one that I believe will be in Laura's best interest. With that said, I am appointing Scott Baldwin as Laura Spencer's legal guardian.